Hello, everyone, and welcome to Out of the Spirit Box with Avani, Heather, and Vale. In this podcast, we talk about all things paranormal and true crime related while desperately attempting to stay on topic. If that sounds like fun to you, then take a seat, turn the lights on, and join us for this episode of Oosp.
Shit. So, Avani, what did you learn about the Mothman?
I learned that the Mothman is a backwoods hick from West Virginia that's, frankly, bullshit.
All right. That's enough segue for me. November 1966. First reported sighting of the Mothman, National Guardsman, November 1st. He was on base, patrolling the area, when he saw a large creature perched against... Why do I sound like one of those radio personalities? I don't know why I was doing that.
I'm just letting it happen.
I don't know what possessed me.
I was listening to a podcast. It's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
I had to stop myself because I heard myself and I was like, what the fuck is going on? Okay. It was, he sees a large creature perched on the fence of the base. At first, he thinks it's a bird that's watching him. But then, he realizes it's too large to be a bird, and those eyes, they're a blazing red, much like a reflector on the back of a car. He went to go find someone to show them the man-shaped bird that was standing on the fence, and when he gets back, it's gone. I hope you enjoyed. That was the first sighting. The first supposed sighting. November 14th, 1966. Mothman may or may not have eaten a dog. I forgot to write this guy's first name, but this guy's name is something Partridge. He hears his dog riled up outside, so he goes outside to, he hears his dog riled up outside. Pause. I don't know why I'm reading this rapid fire. All of a sudden, the TV he's watching inside turns off, and then back on again. And he hears the weird buzzing sound coming from outside. And then the buzzing sound starts coming from the TV. And his dog starts going crazy. So he goes outside and he investigates and he where the dog is. He takes a flashlight, he goes outside, he shines it over at the barn, and he sees two red glowing eyes reflecting back at him. So, Partridge, the avid outdoorsman, goes inside and grabs his shotgun. So he goes and grabs...
West Virginians do.
As most West Virginians will. He goes inside and grabs his shotgun, and he runs out, and his dog beelines it into the barn. So he chases after... He goes after his dog, and when he gets to the barn, he gets, like a scared feeling. And he just goes back inside. He checks in the morning, and there's no dog. The dog is gone, never to be seen again. What he does find is the tracks of the dog running into the barn, doing a circle, and then gone. No more tracks.
Sure. That's how it happened.
I just want to pause to say that you were talking about buzzing, and I was like, haven't we talked about this before? Like, it was the chupacabra.
Yes, the tender lover. That is the chupacabra.
What is it with all the buzzing cryptids?
I don't know why I did this both times.
You know what? I think it's just bees.
But the bees are happy.
I think it's just bees putting on a costume.
Swarms of bees.
Okay. Then...
Did you get the story before that of, like, the two couples in the car?
That's on the 15th. The dog is on the 14th. So I'm gonna do that one next.
Oh, the day before.
Yeah. So, 2015, two couples are enjoying date night, making out in their car. Roger and Linda Scarberry and Steve and Mary Mallet in the TNT area of Point Pleasant. It's called the TNT area because that is where they manufactured and stored explosives during World War II.
The TNT area.
Yeah, that's why it's called the TNT.
Top tier makeup spot.
Mm-hmm.
They went to the TNT area to make out, which is also
They wanted
weird that
an
you'd have two
explosive
couples making
makeout
out at the
session.
same time in the same car. But okay.
Yeah. Oh no, weird.
That's just teenagers.
That's just teenagers in the 60s.
Now, granted, always been asexual, but I thought it was weird as a teenager too.
So they're driving by the munitions plant when Linda notices two bright, burning eyes. Linda yells out to get everyone's attention, and they see the glowing red eyes are part of this massive creature. They describe it as being a 6-foot-tall man-shaped creature with closed wings. And describe it just like Partridge had described when his dog was disappeared. The eyes looked like the reflectors of a bicycle. That's just what it says. I was just telling you what it says.
Maybe. Just saying, maybe it's a bicycle.
Up in the air? It's a tall-ass bicycle.
It's bees. That's what bees had a bicycle.
Bees.
Always bees.
So they drove off, scared out of their mind, and the Mothman spreads its wings and takes straight off into the air. It's now catching up on their car, which is now going 90 miles per hour. I don't believe that. You can't drive a car 90 miles per hour and not fucking just stay on the road like that. Especially if you're on a backwoods road. But anyway, 90 miles per hour.
Bullshit.
That's like a fish story right there.
Yeah. The Mothman was gaining momentum on them and seemed not to be flapping his wings. He just seemed to soar an impulse.
Why does he have wings?
What?
He's a Mothman.
The Mothman.
Mothman has wings.
Mothman has wings.
How are you gonna have wings and not use your wings?
Birds glide.
Yeah, gliding.
Sometimes you see birds that glide.
Wings.
They just kind of like propel.
But weren't they just saying that his wings were in?
Yes, but when it took off, his wings came out.
Oh, okay. So he was okay.
He was standing there menacingly.
The bees were gliding. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, he's gliding.
Gliding. So he was gliding. The group ran off in direction of the police station and went and got a deputy. The couple, frantic and telling them about their crazy story, convinced a deputy to come with them to go search the area. They take him back to the factory, and there's nothing there. But
Gee, I
the
wonder
police
why.
radio begins to buzz.
It's the bees.
It's the bees.
So, the sighting with the guy with the dog and the sighting with the two couples was in the middle of the night. This one is supposedly in the middle of the day.
Oh, it's a West Virginia meth head. It's not bees.
It's a West Virginia meth head. Marcella Bennett and her brother were visiting their family when her brother saw something strange in the sky. She ignores him, because fuck him, she has a baby, and she hasn't got any sleep. So she ignores him, and when she gets out of the car, she sees a figure out of the corner of her eye. She snaps back, and can't tell if it's a man or a mannish creature. Instantly, she falls into some weird trance and collapses on top of her 3-year-old baby.
Sure.
She fell on the baby.
Yep.
Squish.
Totally happened like that.
The creature starts to approach her, and she sets into a panic. She regains consciousness, grabs her daughter, and runs into the house. The thing follows her up the steps, walks over to the porch, and stops at the door. It begins stalking back and forth onto the perch. The siblings call the cops, and before the cops come, the creature takes off.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Oh, it's a vampire. It can't go inside unless you invite it in.
Right? And it's like, you have to let me in. Knock, 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 knock. Let me in. Oh, that reminds me of Black-Eyed Children. But we'll get to that another time. So this bird professor shows up to the town, and he says what the people are witnessing is a sandhill crane.
Yep.
He didn't see the crane. No one has seen the crane, but he says it's a sandhill crane. It's a sandhill crane.
Okay, but he says that based off of the descriptions that are given of the creature.
So he's like, the sandhill crane has red on its face, and it's relatively tall. So a sandhill crane, though, is very fucking skinny. Sandhill cranes have like a red mark around the top of their head. It's not like two eyes, it's just like right here over their forehead, there's like a red mark. I have a picture of a sandhill crane, but I'll put that into the episode. And he says that the people misinterpreted the eyes as the forehead of the crane. But when he brought up the crane to the Scarberries, they said, well, sure, but a sandhill crane is really thin, and a sandhill crane can only go 5 feet tall. They're not known to be taller. So, and the sandhill crane is, like a light tan color, like a white color. And I don't know where I wrote where the Mothman's color was. I missed saying it at some point. But I think it's like...
Isn't it generally portrayed as like a dark...
Yeah. I mean, it's like a dark brown or black color.
Yeah.
But is it portrayed that way because everybody's claiming to see it at night when things are dark?
I have another one for the day. The lady who didn't really see it, the lady who fell on her baby, she didn't get a good look at it. When she turned to look at it, she like passed out and landed on her baby. So she didn't see what color it was.
Right.
So November 27th, Connie, oh shit, I had her last name. But she's like a news reporter. And she's driving down the side on a town outside of Point Pleasant, about 10 miles away from the TNT area. And she
I have
sees...
an important question. What news network? That's important these days.
She's got to say Fox now. She's gonna have to say it.
No, it was like she was a local town news.
Okay.
Was it
I just don't. I was
Fox
like,
affiliate?
no, I was doing this because I was like, you think I wrote that down?
Oh no, I didn't think you did.
But she was like, and she wasn't. She was a news reporter for the newspaper, not a TV personality.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah.
That's different.
So a little bit more credible. Yeah, got it. Okay.
And I think it's her cousin who ends up helping, or her aunt who ends up helping write the Mothman prophecies with the guy who wrote the book. So Connie, in the middle of the day, she's driving down a town outside Point Pleasant, about 10 miles away from the TNT area, when she sees a huge, grayish, dark figure. She slows down to get a better look at it. You know, when you see an accident on the side of the road and you kind of like slow down so you can get a better look. And she recalls seeing a 7-foot tall creature with glowing eyes. But it's in the middle of the day, so she doesn't understand how the eyes are like glowing because there's nothing to reflect. She felt mesmerized for a second, and she started to slow the car almost to a stop. And the creature unfolded its wings. It had a span slightly larger than its body. She guessed anywhere between 8 to 10 feet wingspan. It was humanoid shape and took off in direction of her car. So, she wakes up out of her stupor and slams the gas because she's like, that Mothman ain't getting me. Okay, so she runs away and she makes it back into the town. When she gets there, her eyes start getting really irritated. And she goes to the hospital in the next few days, and she is diagnosed with conjunctivitis. Specifically, Fleek's conjunctivitis, an inflammation of the eye. From prolonged exposure to actinic ultraviolet rays. A few people have seemed to contract conjunctivitis after seeing the Mothman, Linda Scarberry later says that she also had conjunctivitis. Others seem to get induced vomiting after seeing the Mothman, which people attribute to either fear or some type of radiation. The police, the National Guard, and everyone with a gun went out looking for the Mothman.
So all of West Virginia.
So all of West Virginia. But here's a twist. Okay. 2 reporters saw lights, which seemed they couldn't agree what it was. One of them said it was a UFO. The other ones didn't know what it was. They just saw lights. And the 2 began to look at it when they noticed it was blinking in Morse code. And the Morse code said, descend. To which they weren't sure what they were looking at. And this is when we get aliens into the mix.
I was just gonna say, oh, Mothman's an alien.
So, this brings us to the case of Woody Derenberg, who November 2nd, which was the day after the National Guardsman, November 2nd, was driving down the interstate when he saw, like, a light or something behind him. So he, like, pulls off to the side so it can pass him, and the light pulls up next to him. And when he sees it, he describes it as a kerosene lamp, but sideways. It crosses in front of him and stops. So he can't go past it. Then a man, a normal looking man, comes out of the craft. He puts his hands under his arms and walks over to him and like taps on the window for him to like roll down the window. So Woody Derenberg rolls down the window and this guy starts speaking to him. But the guy's not moving his mouth.
Uh-huh.
So he's speaking to him telepathically. And he tells him that his... Nope. He tells him his name is Indrid Cole. And he asks him about the city and where there are. And what people do in that city. Then he asks Woody Derenberg what his job was. And then respond that his job was a seeker. And he was looking for something. Was it the Mothman? Was he looking for the Mothman?
That he did not say what he was looking for?
No, he said he was a seeker.
Okay, so have you read the Men in Black theory?
Yes. Yes, I have.
This is fucking hysterical. So there are West Virginians who believe that the Men in Black are real, but not in the way that we think of them as the movie. They think that they are some intergalactic agency. Heather's face. And that they can wipe your mind. And they believe that they're responsible for the Mothman and trying to keep people from figuring out if the Mothman is real.
Think that if that agency existed, we would have bigger fucking problems than the fucking Mothman. Also, why do you care? Why would they care about a moth guy? What the fuck?
It's an alien experiment and they don't want the things to fall into the wrong hands.
Okay,
I watched a lot of
great.
cartoons in my day.
So I will say the most like I really don't see a situation where I find this plausible. My best guess, if we want to say that this is legitimate, would be it is a West Virginian meth head who found a rocket belt.
What?
Oh, no, I'm down for this theory. Oh, jeez.
So apparently on that like ammunition weapons base thing, supposedly one of the things they were testing was like some self-propulsion system. And which makes like, okay, that I can, yeah, everybody wants rocket boots. Okay, but
I'm good without rocket boots.
but somehow this got twisted into this idea that they weren't actually just trying to make like rocket boots or a rocket, like a jetpack or something, but it got twisted into genetic modification and mutation of human beings. And there's a theory that the Mothman is a genetic mutation gone wrong of a soldier that was supposed to be able to self-propel itself in battle.
Okay, well, this sounds very sci-fi. I mean, I wouldn't be extra surprised because we've crossed, well, not we, but humanity has crossed a lot of DNA to a lot of weird creatures. Right now in Russia, they're creating Neanderthals again because they're crossing DNA with human, like Homo sapiens with Neanderthals and recreating like creatures that shouldn't exist anymore.
What?
Spider goats, guys, spider goats.
And this
Oh
is
yeah,
why,
the goats for the silk.
Listen, anytime anybody ever talks about aliens and they're like, oh, the aliens are horrible and they want to do tests on humans and blah, 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 I'm like, are you fucking surprised? We do the same thing.
Exactly. It's like, oh, aliens are so bad. They're fucking testing, they're abducting us and testing fucking shit on us. Well, if you take an ant from an anthill and do a test on the ant, what you're doing is abducting it from where it lives and experimenting on it. So, if we are primordial ants to fucking aliens, then they don't give a shit. They'd just be science. They'd science us up.
Like, if you're gonna do science, don't be surprised when other people do science. Like,
like with all the crazy shit that scientists do all the time, they really be surprised if aliens did the same shit.
apparently.
I think people just want, like, they just want to make things bad. They just want a woe is me.
Which
Like-
I don't understand why, because there's plenty of actual woe is me if they just pay attention.
You don't have to make it
God,
up.
man.
We live in dystopia.
Yeah.
We'll give you some. We're
It's all
happy to give
there.
up our woe.
Yeah, do you want my woe?
I'll give you my woe.
I'll write that down.
Okay,
I'll give you my
so-
woe.
Okay, so I pulled up a picture of the photo, the silhouette photo that is supposedly Mothman from 2016. And I pulled up a picture of the sandhill crane flying. And with the exception of the fact that the sandhill crane neck is a lot longer, this looks very similar. However, I will say the photo I have is its wings are like kind of back a little bit, so I don't know if it would look different if, like, I don't know how its wings function. But yeah, the only thing about this that makes me feel like maybe it's not a picture of a sandhill crane is the fact that the crane's neck is long. And in the photo, it does look like the wings are closer up to the head than this crane does.
But there's still more to this Mothman. Because it's not called Mothman Prophecies for no reason.
Ugh.
Which I'm gonna have to just fucking fly on the seat of my pants because I forgot to write it down.
Okay.
But, so, the reporter, John Keel, the guy who wrote the book on Mothman Prophecies,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Words.
Mothman Prophecies, he's staying, like, in Point Pleasant, and he's, like, interviewing these people and blah, blah, blah. and he starts getting like weird phone calls.
Mm-hmm.
And these weird phone calls are telling them that they've been visited. I think some of them were people, and others that he believed might have been the Mothman. But there were people who were visited and were given prophecies.
Okay.
One was that the Pope was going to be assassinated by a black knife on this day, blah, blah, blah. So he calls... Yes? Heather, you good?
Yeah, no, I'm fine. I'm just...
So
Okay.
he calls the Vatican and says that there's going to be an assassination attempt on
he does not.
the assassination on the Pope, and he waits patiently for the day that the assassination was going to happen, and there's no assassination.
No shit.
Then
Who's not surprised?
3 days or some weeks later, there was an assassination attempt on the Pope.
No.
But
No.
I mean, I could say there's always assassination attempts on a Pope. I mean, I'm not I'm not saying that was a prophecy, but I mean, if you say that, the Pope might be assassinated, it's gonna eventually happen that someone's gonna try.
Yeah.
And was the assassination attempt with a black knife?
Yes.
It was?
Yes.
Oh.
Mm.
Spooky.
It was an assassination with a black knife. And I think it was like an assassination attempt, and the guy, like, it was... I don't remember. It was, like, not... The weapon was not a knife, but there was something that, I'm not sure if he was, like, part of an organization called the Black Knife, or he had a shirt that had a black knife on it. But there was something that connected. I don't remember. Then there was another prophecy that something horrible and terrible was gonna happen, and that they had to be ready to he had to prepare. And so this reporter, he rents a cabin up in the woods away from the town because he thinks something's terrible gonna happen, and he gets water and a whole bunch of shit that in case the world ends, he'll be able to survive for a while. And time goes by, and nothing happens. So he decides that these prophecies were wrong, so he's like, fuck it. So then the Silver Bridge accident happens. So there's a bridge that goes over I want to say the Potomac. I don't remember. But there's a big-ass bridge that goes over the Ohio River. There's that big-ass bridge that goes over the Ohio River. And one of the joints buckles and breaks. And the whole bridge falls into the river, killing a lot of people on Christmas Eve.
I think there was one survivor.
That's fucking awful.
But, okay, so here's what I find, just dumb. Is the way this is portrayed. So I watched the Mothman sightings, which is a documentary about the Mothman. And they talked about this bridge thing. But the way that they portrayed this was the stupidest thing I've ever seen. They're like, oh yeah, so the sighting happened and everybody's talking about it and people are seeing the Mothman, and every time somebody sees the Mothman, then bad shit happens. So there's this sighting of the Mothman, and then a year later the bridge collapses.
Yeah.
A year later the bridge collapses and you're blaming the fucking Mothman?
Yeah.
First off, if he exists, it's not his fucking fault, and don't you put that on him.
Right.
Second, when engineers looked at it, it was a flaw in the bridge from its construction.
Yeah. So, the reason that it connects is only because of the prophecies. Just Mothman itself has you saw Mothman, a year later the bridge fell. The only thing that connects it is this guy getting random phone calls to his detached phone. So, he didn't want people to be calling him no more, giving him prophecies, so he, disconnected his phone, and supposedly his phone would keep ringing, and people would keep calling him. So, the Mothman, So one of the prophecies was that some terrible thing was going to happen, and it was like Armageddon was going to happen, and then shortly after, like, the bridge fell, and that's how it connects back to the Mothman.
About that, I don't know. I just don't know.
I'm just giving you the stuff that was reported.
Oh, yeah, no. I know you're not saying that, but...
Like, I'm trying to give as much information that my brain had soaked up in all this time.
Every time, everybody always does that. Like, when I was looking up the stuff about Ed and Lorraine Warren, obviously I looked into their haunted items museum, and there's all these stories about, like, the haunted dolls and how if you say something mean to the doll, something will happen to you. But it doesn't happen that
Robert
day.
doesn't like you talking about him.
Yeah, it doesn't happen that day. It doesn't necessarily happen in the same week. Now, the ones that do happen that day, yeah, I think that's a little suspicious, and there are a couple of those. But any time with these paranormal things where they're like, oh, and then 3 years went by and blah, 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 it's like, come the fuck on.
Like, it's... all of it is just like something was said, and then time passed, and nothing happened.
And then time passed.
And then so time passed.
Did you find the story about, it was some kids, I think it was like a guy, his sister, and I think like some friends or something, and they were, like, I guess driving out that way towards near the munitions, and he was like, yeah, don't look out your window, and she looks out the window, and supposedly this thing is like flying directly next to them, looking in the window.
No, I did not hear that one. I did hear one where there's like, it's like some siblings, and they're at the TNT area, and they see something like standing in the factory. So the guy's like, watch this, and he grabs a rock.
No.
And he pegs the rock at the Mothman. And the Mothman, I think he shrieks, unfolds his wings, and then takes off after them. The guy is hauling ass because he's like, oh shit, maybe I shouldn't have done that.
Don't throw a
Honestly,
rock.
It doesn't have to be a Mothman. It could be anything. Don't throw a rock at it. You could throw a rock at a beehive that's just gonna come after you.
See, I told you, it's the bees.
Here's the thing. I don't know that, I don't think the Mothman's real, but I do think demons are real. And maybe the Mothman's a demon. Don't fucking throw rocks at demons.
Alien, demon, or just like an actual Mothman, bunch of bees.
Maybe. But this was the 60s, right?
Our science wasn't that good.
Maybe everybody was tripping balls.
Ah, true that. Yeah, that's definitely a total possibility.
I just like how they're like, oh, it's aliens because the guy had an alien sighting days before the Mothman thing. He's like, oh, and this guy came out and he said he's a seeker. And then, like, I think the aliens came back a second time because they're like, oh, we'll see you again. And this time it'll be like for more information, something. But I don't remember it because it was the last thing I wrote on the fucking page. So I did not keep writing.
What kills me is when you listen to the theories, it just sounds more like spiraling conspiracy theories.
Yes.
That go deeper and deeper and deeper.
Yeah.
Than something like semi-believable.
Yeah, because at no point does it ever sound like anybody tried to handle it scientifically.
No.
just that one bird scientist. And he didn't investigate, he didn't look for it. He was just like, oh, it sounds like this to me. And that was it. That was the only person who tried to think of anything. He was just like, yeah, it's a bird. It's this bird specifically.
But let me tell you
he didn't even leave it open-ended.
West Virginians are making so much money off their Mothman Festival.
Oh, yeah. That's just amazing.
So much money.
Yeah. There was, I think
Mothman is a way of life right now.
Yeah, man.
I think I heard on one of the podcasts I listened to, they brought that up, how maybe it's just like a genius marketing scheme or something.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, because once you start seeing, like, how people talk about, like, Chupacabra and Yeti. I mean, with the Chupacabra, that lady in fucking Texas who swore up and down it was a
That's a
Chupacabra,
fucking
and it was
dog,
obviously
bitch.
a fucking dog, yeah.
Yeah.
Not my
So-
Chupacabra.
Like, hashtag not my Chupacabra.
Hashtag not my Chupacabra.
Like, there's in the documentary I watched, there's this couple who decided to go out and do like a paranormal style investigation and do like EVP work where the Mothman had supposedly been sighted.
Yeah.
And so they go out there with their recorder, and the one clip they show of this whole investigation is them, like, you know, asking a question, you know, if you're here, say something into the device, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And they play it back. They're like, oh, yeah, so we did this, and we got back in the car, and we played it back, and it said, I am here.
Love it.
Really? That's like that's your one clip. That's your one whole fucking clip of everything. So then they claim that they went home and they were plagued for a decade with just miserable bad luck, and their lives were horrific for an entire decade. Bitch, that's just life.
Yeah, that's just
Life.
first of
Life
all.
just
That's-
went downhill.
Life just sucks. Sorry, but that's how it is. It's not all rainbows and sunshines. You live in West Virginia. I will go hard on West Virginia. And then they're like, we're gonna go back and we're gonna finally put this to rest and get to an end of it and get our lives back. And they go back and they take some guy with them and do kind of the same thing, like some EVP thing. And the paranormal guy that's with them is like asking the questions and stuff, and the couple's just kind of like standing there as part of it. And this paranormal guy asks it a question, and it's like, oh yeah, I want your blood. And right?
What?
And then he like, keeps like checking whatever equipment he's using. And so he's decided that it's attached itself to the wife. So then he starts asking it, why are you so interested in her, blah, blah, blah. And like, there's no fucking conclusion to this.
Is he just high?
West Virginia meth heads?
West Virginia meth heads. Because, like, it would at least be interesting if it was, like, we went home, and, like, the Mothman prophecies, like, and the phone was ringing, and these fucking people keep calling. Or, actually, when I was younger, my cousin was scared by the movie The Mothman Prophecies, which is a movie based on the book The Mothman Prophecies. Mm-hmm. And in one of the scenes, the reporter goes to his hotel room, and he picks up the phone, and it's supposedly the Mothman, and the Mothman tells him something, and he's like a future thing, and he's like, "Oh, I don't believe you. If you can really tell everything, what's in my hand?" So he grabs something out of his drawer and puts it in his hand, and then the Mothman goes, "Chapstick," in the fucking dumbest, ugliest fucking voice, and he opens his hand and he's holding chapstick. Like, if it was some dumb shit like that, like, they went home and then they were getting calls, but it was like, oh, we went home and we had bad luck for 10 years. Like, what?
Yeah.
No, life happened and things don't always go the way you want them to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's not even interesting. That doesn't even make for a story. At least make a good story.
Yeah, it's not like they explained some really horrible things that happened. They just said our life sucked. Our life was horrible for 10 years. It wasn't like this person had cancer, this person had cancer, and our house burned down, and like we moved and that house burned out. Like, it wasn't even shit like objects in the house it wasn't even shit like that.
Yeah, and that's like the Mothman doesn't even have consistency, because half the people are like, it's a man, it's half man, half moth, and half the people are like, oh, it's a demon, and blah blah blah, or oh, it's aliens.
And then, like, you read shit and it says, oh, well, it actually has no characteristics of a moth. They just called it a Mothman because it could fly. And then you're like,
that's the dumbest shit ever. It's called Mothman because it can fly, not because it had anything that had to do with moths.
What backwoods hillbilly decided Mothman over Birdman?
Birdman!
That's why. Isn't there like a cartoon or something?
Yes, there is a Birdman cartoon, but that came well after the first sighting of Mothman.
Like, I never understood the Mothman either. Like, why they called it Mothman. It doesn't look like a moth. It looks like a guy with wings. And the wings don't look like a moth's wings. It's not bug fucking...
Maybe it is an oversized bat.
Yo, that would be terrifying.
Hold on.
Have you ever seen those really big bats from South America that are like 3 feet long? And their wingspans are just like fucking huge?
Yes. Giant golden crowned flying fox is possibly the largest bat in the world. Its wingspan averages more than 5 feet long, and it's the heaviest recorded bat, weighing up to 3 pounds.
Oh. That's a big bat.
Crazy.
First off, if that came flying at me, its eyes would glow red and I would be fucking terrified. So...
If that shit... I mean, I've seen, like, bats fly at me, and they do that thing, where they just kind of, like, glide, and then suddenly they're, like, up.
Yeah, we occasionally get bats in our backyard in the summer, and I love them very much.
Where my grandma lives in Puerto Rico, we get bats sometimes in the summer, and you'll just be sitting there on the porch, and they just fucking dive bomb you, and you gotta duck because they're about to hit you.
They're so cool. I love bats.
They're weird. Like, I don't know what they have to be diving at me for. I'm living my life, I'm letting them live their lives, and then suddenly, wah!
They don't mean to dive at you.
Apparently, there are human-sized bats in the Philippines.
Well, there you go.
What?
It's Batman.
It's Batman.
Supposedly, I'll send you the thing. Supposedly, this has been fact-checked.
That it's Batman?
Oh, okay, hold on.
No. That, I want
okay, hold on. It might be angles. I think it's angles.
Is it the guy with the... Hold on.
I think it's the angle they took the photo at that makes it look so... Yeah.
Though, it does look big. While the perspective is making it look bigger, it does look pretty fucking massive.
Okay. But looking at that picture, just imagine for a second that flying versus the picture of the silhouette of Mothman.
No, 100%. I mean...
Absolutely terrifying.
There's no reason why there can't be some giant-ass bat.
I'm just saying, to me, it's more like this is the picture.
This is the picture.
Oh, yeah.
What the fuck? That's supposed to be the Mothman?
That's supposed to be the Mothman. That is the 2016 picture that they claim... Here's all 3 pictures that were taken.
Now that's done as shit. His wings aren't even, like, from a standpoint of just physiology, his wings aren't big enough to make him fly.
That's why I feel like it's more...
Glide man?
It's more probable that it's either a meth head trying to figure out how to fly, or like a large bat or something, because the way the legs would work.
Yeah, like the legs of like a bat are way better than like the legs of a fucking crane. Like the bat has meaty ass legs, like it looks like people legs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A crane's legs are too small. I wouldn't say, oh yeah, that's the Mothman. But if you saw a bat, they have like the torso is normal shape, like it kind of looks humanoid because it's wide enough and it's got legs that are not sticks.
There are 24 species of bats in West Virginia.
West Virginia bats.
Would you like me to investigate all of them?
I'm just gonna Google West Virginia bats.
Biggest bats in West Virginia.
Though, granted, it doesn't have to be a bat just from West Virginia. Just, like, things accidentally show up in different climates.
Oh, true, yeah.
I'm not saying it's one from, like, Asia, but...
What
Right.
if...
It's unlikely it's a bat from the Philippines.
Yeah,
God.
exactly. It's not gonna be a bat from the Philippines, but...
If it was a, prehistoric bat.
Were the ice caps melting in the 60s?
Probably.
They were always melting. As soon as we learned how to fucking use oil, the ice caps were melting.
As soon as we became people.
As soon as we technology, ice caps were melting.
Yep.
And bats in West Virginia are so small, they're like this big!
Well, and here's the thing. It's possible that it's like... I mean, sometimes you just get an animal that's bigger than it should be.
Yeah.
Most of these guys look pretty little.
They're so small, they're cute. These bats are adorable. They're like pocket-sized.
Yeah, I still wouldn't want one flying at me.
Oh no, I mean the ones in Puerto Rico are that size, and every time they fucking dive bomb me, I'm like, yeah, goddamn.
Well, yeah, but if it was your little bat friend.
Did you guys ever, when we were running, oh, what was it? Not Abomination Vaults, that's what we're playing right now. Tomb of Annihilation, did you guys ever watch the stream?
Tomb of Annihilation.
Yeah, the first campaign Jack played with us.
Oh, I watched it every once in a while, not religiously.
Also
the
same.
voice he did for his character reminded me so much of the bat from Anastasia. Like it was all like he was playing like this giant elephant, and all I could see in my head was this tiny white bat.
Oh, the elephant one.
Yeah. He was playing Drew's, which was a big elephant. I think he was like a cleric or some shit. I don't remember. But it was the voice he used was hysterical because it sounded just like the damn bat from Anastasia. And I can just like I see that moment of the film play in my head every time he speaks.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, I have a hard time because they've spiraled it so out of control, it's so unbelievable.
Mothman is... I just like the idea. I don't believe there's a Mothman, but I do love the idea.
I mean, I love the idea that there's a Yeti and that he is like the most lovable motherfucker on the planet. But we didn't answer the true question. Do you think the Mothman is a kind and tender lover?
The Mothman, a kind and tender lover. Well, he respects your space because he has to be let in.
Yeah.
So
he asks permission.
He asks permission.
Yeah.
He's a big fan of consent.
Yep.
I can't think of anything.
He's got those big wings so he can wrap you up in them.
Yeah, if you're cold, it could keep you warm.
Yeah.
It's got those big wings to hold you tight.
Clearly, he makes money. He has funded an entire industry in West Virginia. And a film franchise. He's famous.
I think Mothman is a kind and tender lover.
I think he could be.
Very well could be. Could also probably show you the world. You just climb on his back and he flaps his wings.
Yeah.
You don't need a magic carpet with Mothman.
I have like a underlying theory that if the Mothman exists, he is somehow like part bat. Because I get this vampire vibe from him.
Yeah, he's very vampire-esque. I hate the fact that his name is Mothman when he has nothing to do with moths.
Yes. And the statue they have constructed of him is painful.
His six-pack abs and
But isn't this
have you seen?
They put him in, like, Batman or something, didn't
Yeah.
they?
They have, like... Okay, Heather has no idea. You need to find this picture and send it.
Okay, I have it actually right here.
The fucking statue is so terrible.
Here you go. I'm gonna send you a couple, because there's, you need the perspectives, the angles.
And he's got a tight ass. I remember that.
What the fuck? Why? Okay, why? But why? First of all, why are you... What
First of all, why?
is that?
First of all, why?
Oh.
Second of all, why?
Is that supposed to be chest hair?
I really think they were trying to make Mothman look fucking schmexy.
Well, they really failed, first of all, because this is just weird, okay? I know they're trying to Rule 34 it. Also, why does his wings have all these holes? What is this?
That is Mothman.
Why does he look like a cartoon villain?
Because he was a cartoon villain in Batman.
Oh, that's what that is? Oh, no way. I'm still stuck on this chest hair that looks like worms. And also, these are the worst abs I've ever seen on a statue ever. This statue is awful. What is with those knees? What is going on? What the fuck?
We can't hear you. I don't know why we can't hear you. I just know that we can't.
Oh, she's upset that we
Yeah,
can't
she
hear
is.
her.
I can read her lips when she says "what the fuck." She
Yeah,
enunciates that quite well. She's that close.
Alright, fucking...
Hey!
Fucking
Bullshit.
What happened?
My mic just disconnected. It just decided not to
Rude.
be fucking, being able to connect to the computer anymore. It just stopped detecting it for no reason. I enunciate my what the fuck.
You did. It was
Here's-
crystal clear, man.
Yeah. Lego Mothman and Lego Joker.
What the fuck?
Lego
Yeah.
Mothman. Like, the whole...
They
like,
do call him Killer Moth, though.
Like, I saw that and I originally was like, is that from, like, Danny Phantom?
My man.
Because that's what that looks like. The first one that you sent. Also, why would they make Mothman look like a moth when Mothman never looked like a moth?
Just
Because
about
of his
to ask
name.
that.
Because, like,
But,
they gave him, like, butterfly wings with holes in them. They gave him, like... I don't even know what the fuck is wrong with his face. They gave him chest hair. That's just terrible.
He does
Absolutely
look like
terrible.
his face looks like it wants to be an eagle, but it doesn't know how.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like a bug that's trying to be an eagle for Halloween.
This is probably the worst low-budget statue I've ever seen in my life.
I mean,
And it sits there in the middle of Point Pleasant. It sits there in the middle of the town. So everyone's like, look at our Mothman.
Oh, yeah, this is a way of life.
Oh yeah,
here
I've
it
seen
is.
it. Like, there's in that little town square, there's like shops that sell Mothman
Here's the
chocolates
rear.
and Mothman pizza. Oh, it's the
Mothman Diner.
yeah. There's a
Why
Mothman
does he
diner.
have an ass?
That's
Look
what I
how
was
high his
saying. I don't know if
crack
my mic
goes.
wasn't working, but I was like, yeah. Have you seen the ass on that Mothman?
Look how high his crack goes.
Yep.
Is he wearing a fucking G-string? What the fuck is going on?
And look
exactly
how
what
far
I looked
down his wings attach.
Dude! What the fuck is going on? What is wrong with these people?
The Mothman just gave him
West
too much radiation.
Virginia.
What the fuck is going on here? What am I looking at?
But the Mothman has a lot of ass, but he has no dick.
You're right, though. He doesn't. Well, it's
Mothman
West
is a
Virginia.
Ken doll.
His legs
we
so
should do
wide.
Mothman with the Am I Enough?
Am I enough?
I'm just so confused and concerned by these images.
Yeah.
I
Oh, but don't worry. At night, Heather, they put a spotlight on him so you can't miss him.
Oh, good. You don't want to miss. You don't want to miss that. That's just here. I gotta open it in browser so I can see it in all its glory.
It's
Yep. Yup.
Which they missed a perfect opportunity to make those
To have
eyes
glowing
glow.
red eyes.
Yes. Yes.
Like that's the whole point of Mothman is that he's scary because his eyes glow red.
Why
they didn't even
bike
put
reflectors? You could use bike reflectors.
Statue made of.
Probably metal.
Sin?
It looks like fucking tin. Yeah, it looks like tin.
Well, look, it can't be anything that they would go scrap and recycle for money because that would have happened by now.
Yeah, but why not stone? Like, it's just, I can't.
Stone's too expensive.
That is the worst statue. Go dig rocks! That's the worst statue I've ever seen. Alright. That's some, Alright. I don't know who the artist is for that, but...
It probably says it on the plaque, but I'm sure they never got anything done ever again.
Oh, if you think I'm not gonna find it.
They're like, oh, that's a great statue, and then never fucking...
Artist and sculptor is a guy named Bob Roach from New Haven, West Virginia, and somehow that explains everything I needed to know.
I don't need to know anything else. His name said it all.
Bob Roach?
Here, I'll read you the plaque. On a chilly fall night in November 1966, two young couples drove to the TNT area of North Point Pleasant, West Virginia when they realized they were not alone. What they saw that night has evolved into one of the great mysteries of all time. Hence, the Mothman legacy began. It has grown into a phenomenon known all over the world by millions of curious people asking questions, what really happened? What did these people see? Has it been seen since? It still sparks the world's curiosity, the mystery behind Point Pleasant, West Virginia's Mothman. Yeah.
Stainless steel. It's stainless steel. He also died in 2015.
Well, that makes me feel better about really ripping his sculpture a new one.
Listen, it's a bad sculpture. Listen, okay, I appreciate the work you put in, but it's not, the greatest piece of art ever. It doesn't change because he died.
Literally, the problems begin with the ass and end with the ass. Like...
I'm trying to find other art this man has done. All I can find is Mothman.
That's all you need to see.
Doesn't that explain it, though?
Can't believe
Oh my god, no, during COVID they put an N95 on Mothman.
Oh my god.
Hold on. He said that he got his inspiration for the Mothman statue design by using an image of a bodybuilder.
What bodybuilder looks like that and we need to have an intervention?
Hi.
Sir, I don't think you got a good look. Oh my god. At least in that picture, the eyes of the Mothman is glowing. Yo, this guy has never seen a person in his life.
Yeah, never even seen a person. Anatomy doesn't exist to him.
Oh my god, what is this? Well, you told me what he was on. Meth. So
West Virginia
much
meth heads.
meth. The closer up you look at it, the worse it looks.
Yes! Oh.
According to rankings, West Virginia has the fourth most drug usage and addiction in the country.
Well.
Cocaine, particularly crack, poses a significant drug threat to West Virginia. Cocaine is readily available, commonly abused, and frequently associated with violent crime in the state. There were more cocaine-related offenses in the state than offenses for any other illicit drug in 2022.
So it's not meth. It's cocaine.
Sorry. Clearly, the Mothman is just a symbol of the problems in West Virginia.
Yeah, that is a good summation of the entire episode here.
So while we may feel that the Mothman might be a kind and tender lover because we do not deem him as himself West Virginian, we feel that there's other issues at hand here that need to be addressed first.
So many other issues.
These episodes are gonna hurt me in a deep personal way when I edit.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, you have to relive this whole experience.
I have to relive this over and over
Here,
again.
let me end it with this adorableness.
Alright, yeah, okay. What is this? Is it a plushie?
It's a
Oh, it's
U-Tunes.
plastic.
Yeah.
A what?
It's a collectible.
It's
Plastic.
adorable.
Collectible.
I
I have a Mothman onesie, but it's so fucking hot. I was not gonna use that shit.
That would have been hysterical, though.
Thank you so much for listening. If you liked what you heard and want to hang out with us some more, be sure to check out our page where you can find links to our other shows and projects. Bye!